The KUAM Podcast Network is on demand and available anytime for you to get your fill of the hottest topics from Teen KUAM.
These types of things are happening.
From news.
He has been in and out of jail since 2012.
To pop culture.
There's a bunch of people even saying now this is the greatest movie of all time.
That's crazy.
Health and nutrition.
We're putting all these chemicals into our body, all these preservatives, and down the line we have health issues.
Food.
I'm very passionate about really good food.
Nostalgic playlists and everything in between.
This guy has worked with Justin Bieber, DJ Khaled, Chance the Rapper.
The amount of fangirling right now that's happening inside this body is crazy.
So listen up whenever and wherever and subscribe and follow us today on SoundCloud, on Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify or your favorite podcast platform.
Watch Health Check with Nurse Jen Artero every Tuesday for community health information, advisories, and news you and your family can use for leading a healthier lifestyle. Health Check during KUAM News Healthy Living. Health Check with Nurse Jen is presented by Island Cancer Center.
KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. And brought to you by Matson and the Adahi Tanu program. Cars Plus, reminding you to put your phone down while driving. Distractions won't get you there. Heads up, Guam. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurants, always open, always local, and serving up favorites for over 40 years.
Now on primetime, the two DOC escapees that were caught appear in court today. Plus, the feds are opposing a motion to sever charges in the Boom Matanonia case. And we've got the very latest on when the Guam solid waste system will finally be returned to local control.
Half a day and good evening. I'm Adriana Cotero. The judiciary of Guam has received complaints of Marshall's wrongdoing and has also made efforts to reach out to witnesses who have knowledge about allegations made in the Zonia Mayor Jesse Blas's arraignment hearing. Here's more.
Legislative Judiciary Oversight Chair Senator Therese Terlahi is looking for answers. After firing off two letters to Judiciary Chief Justice Catherine Merriman, Senator Terlahi may be closer to getting those answers. Terlahi trying to find out what the courts are doing about allegations raised by an FBI agent in Jotnia Mayor Jesse Blas's arraignment hearing. The allegation: there's an ongoing federal investigation into Guam marshals engaging in sexual intercourse with females who had active warrants. Senator Terlahi asking Chief Justice Merriman in a letter, has the judiciary received in the last 2 years any complaints or reports of improper conduct involving marshals of the judiciary? Merriman's answer, yes. Terlahi saying she wants more information on complaints against marshals.
How many have they had since January, and who exactly has investigated those?
Who has investigated those complaints? According to the court's own policies, any person may report court employees who violate the judiciary's code of conduct to the administrator of the courts, John Lozama. Lozama shall appoint a 3-member review committee within 5 days of the interview to investigate and hear the case. Now it remains to be seen if a review committee is currently impaneled. When Senator Terlahi asked Merriman if there have been any efforts by the judiciary to contact witnesses that may further shed light on allegations made by the FBI during Mayor Blas's arraignment hearing, the Chief Justice replied, yes.
I think it's clear from their responses that they are doing their own internal investigation, right? And that we kind of have to wait until they come up with results for that to know more in regards to those particular allegations. There's nothing wrong with them doing a preliminary and then saying, okay, this one looks like there's something here. Now we bring in GPD or someone else.
Terlahi says the judiciary has told her the FBI has not made any searches at the court, and while she said she'll let the court's investigation play out, she's not ruling out an oversight hearing on this issue or others that have come to light recently, including wrongful releases at DOC.
We are looking at that possibility.
Terlahi, meanwhile, says since the allegations raised in federal court deal with females with active warrants, she'll be asking for any and all warrant lists from the courts.
How long have certain people been on the list of warrants is what I'm looking for. And, you know, obviously, if they've been on the list for a long time, I'm going to find out why.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
So we have DOC.
Chris adds that he did reach out to the Director of Policy Planning and Community Relations for the Judiciary of Guam, Sean Gumatau, for a response, but he had not received one as of news time. Is this the Zonja Mayor's office putting the trick in trick or treat? This after a solicitation letter from the Zonja Mayor's office circulates on WhatsApp asking for Halloween candies and any Halloween-related treats. The kicker, the letter signed by Zonja Mayor Jesse Bloss. Bloss is currently behind bars awaiting trial on drug-related bribery and extortion charges. The letter dated October 9, 2019. But if you look closely, the 9 in 2019 appears to have been doctored. KUAM called the mayor's office and staffer Rose Guerrero told us the letter was a copy of a solicitation letter from 2017. Guerrero said one of the staffs doctored the date on the letter because it slipped their mind that mayor is not here. Guerrero said that the letter was sent out, but not to that many people. Sablan confirmed the Zonja Mayor staff changed the date on the letter. One of the employees did it, Sablan said. She asked to prepare a letter, and apparently they just took one from a previous year, changed the date, and sent it out. I told them to retract the letters. Another letter will be drafted and signed by Sablan. Guerrero, meanwhile, confirms Zonja does need Halloween candy donations and can be dropped at the Zonja Mayor's office or call 789-1525 for more information. The feds are opposing a motion to severe charges in the John Boom Matanonia case. Last week, his defense attorney filed a motion that requests that the charges related to the allegations of jury tampering be separated from the one count related to drugs. The defense argued the two are unrelated and would prejudice his client's right to a fair trial if they remain joined. In June, Boom was indicted for obstructing justice by endeavoring to influence a juror in the Raymond Martinez and Juanita Moser drug trial and for conspiracy to distribute ice. The feds argue that Boom engaged in a conspiracy to distribute meth and engaged in the protection of distributors of meth by obstructing justice. The conspiracy involved secrecy, concealment, and clandestine activity and went on for 3 years beginning in January 2016. The offenses of the conspiracy to distribute meth and obstruction of justice grew out of related transactions. The same witnesses will be used to prove both counts. Trial is now scheduled for March 3, 2020. A complaint was filed by a U.S. Customs and Border Protection officer against the federal agency. Here's more. Plaintiff Reynold La Puebla is taking action against the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and U.S. Customs and Border Protection. La Puebla filed a complaint for monetary and injunctive relief in district court back in May, seeking $300,000 in damages for being sexually harassed from a hostile work environment. According to court document on April 4, 2016, La Puebla attended an intermediate use of force training. Also present were 10 officers participating in the exercise. This included CBP officer Christopher Cuenga and CBP officer Mark Lope. La Puebla and Lope partnered up for the man-to-man ground self-defense tactic. Cuenga took photos of the exercise and posted 2 of the captures on a Facebook group page. Court documents state that the photos posted looked as if La Puebla was, quote, sodomizing, quote, end quote, Lope, and that sexually charged comments were posted on the social media upload. La Puebla filed a gender discrimination sexual harassment complaint after the incident. Court documents also state that Cuenga was issued a letter of reprimand, however, a settlement was never reached. This month, the defendant, Acting Secretary Kevin McLennan, for U.S. DHS and CBP, answers to the complaint by denying the allegations and that they acted in accordance with the laws and regulations to address the issue. La Puebla has demanded for a jury trial. The case will be heard on October 24th. Another attorney has backed away from Dexter Long's drug case. Attorney Mark Condas filed his motion to withdraw, citing medical reasons. This marks Long's 6th attorney assigned to him. All previous attorneys have withdrawn for various reasons, including conflicts of interest. Prior to Condas, attorney William Gavris withdrew from the case, telling the court the attorney-client relationship had broken down and that Long accused him of being a racist at the last hearing. Long denied calling him a racist, but the statement was in reference to the entire judicial system. He faces federal charges related to 1,000 gross grams of meth. His trial is supposed to start next week. January 31st, 2020 is the new target date for the complete turnover of the trash system to the Guam Solid Waste Authority. This includes the post-closure care of the old ORDOT dump. Both GSWA and the federal receiver presented their respective reports at the status hearing in district court today. GSWA Chairman Andrew Gale says the judge seemed pleased with the updates.
The one sticking point would be the finalization of the post-closure plan, and we understand that the post-closure plan is it's something that has to be adjusted from time to time based on the findings of what's going on in the ORDOT dump, and so I think today was a pretty good hearing. We have a date, a target date. We'll meet again in December to see how that target date works.
They still plan to drill several groundwater test wells, and the results are needed for the final plan. The receiver had wanted to lift anchor and complete the transition at the end of this year, but federal EPA officials urged for a 1-month extension just to make sure. Meanwhile, GSWA also reported to Judge Gatewood the recent cyber theft that cost GSWA some $267,000. An email hacker got in between GSWA and a vendor and duped the authority into sending the payment.
Any oversight, she would be concerned that we have addressed to make sure that these types of things don't happen again, and the same concerns that I have, the same concerns that the governor had in her letter to us, and so and Mr. Gast explained what is being done, and so we are hopeful and confident that that type of thing won't happen again.
Federal and local law enforcement agencies are still investigating the case. Meanwhile, GSWA says it's switching over to a more secure GovGuam email system, and key staff will undergo cyber theft prevention training with the FBI. Attorney David Highsmith has filed an appeal of his termination as an assistant AG. Highsmith cited 4 reasons for his appeal: inadequate notice, the punishment was too severe, that he has clean record of 19 years of employment in GovGuam and 37 years of practicing law, and quote, anything I might learn in discovery or cannot think of now, end quote. Highsmith's termination was effective October 2nd, following his arrest in August after he allegedly pushed another attorney over a disagreement in a civil case. The incident occurred outside Judge Anita Sokola's courtroom. The 2 inmates who were able to walk out of the Department of Corrections halfway house on Wednesday night appeared before Judge Elise Iriarte for their magistrate's hearing this afternoon. Johnny Attilig and Johnny Del Rosario face a charge of felony escape. The 2 appeared in court today via video conference. Bail was set for both at $5,000, and both will appear for a preliminary hearing before Judge Vern Paris on October 21st. According to the magistrate's complaint, the 2 left from DOC and got into a brown pickup truck. It was during a head count that Del Rosario and Attilig were discovered missing from the halfway house. Court documents state the 2 went to Del Rosario's girlfriend's house. While there, Del Rosario contacted authorities in order to self-surrender. The 2 are now assigned to the prison's SHU or special housing unit. A drunk student got into a fight with 2 other students during a lunch period at Okoto High School today, and GDOE says police were called in and out of an abundance of caution. 2 of the students were transported to the hospital, but their conditions were not released. GPD was able to intervene along with OHS employee and school resource officers. Superintendent John Fernandez said appropriate disciplinary action will be taken once the school investigation is completed. He said he is saddened to see that alcohol played a part in another school incident, despite a complete ban on all school campuses. Fernandez says he'll meet with the Education Board to discuss ways to strengthen its policies. The University of Guam is strapped for cash and is now proposing a 30% increase in tuition to make ends meet. The school held a public hearing today to get input on the plan, and not surprisingly, UOG students showed up and forced to voice their opposition. Nestor Lecanto reports.
University President Thomas Christ explained the proposal and the reasons why they need to raise tuition, saying general fund appropriations have declined by more than $3 million over the last 3 years. But more than that, they haven't received all of the money that was promised, and the allotment shortfalls are really adding up.
Since 2016, UOG has not received its full local appropriations from the government of Guam, a shortfall of more than $12.3 million over these 3 fiscal years. This year, the budget law appropriated $27.6 million, a shortfall of $6.2 million from what UOG requested.
Under the proposal, tuition will be increased by 10% per semester over the next 3 semesters, beginning in spring 2020. Most students said it was simply too much, too soon. They aren't able to plan for it, and many can't afford it.
It is astounding that even students who are excelling academically, achieving 3.5 and 4.0 GPAs, are already constrained by the cost of tuition and are unable to continue their education at the university. If this data is any indication, a tuition increase so extreme as the one proposed will only add to these numbers.
It is unfair to reach into the pockets of students to solve a problem that we had no part in creating. It is especially unfair that we are potentially going to be exploited by these substantial tuition hikes. We understand that the government of Guam was unable to allocate the appropriate sum of revenue for the university, but throwing that problem completely onto students is unacceptable.
We know that raising the cost of tuition eventually is inevitable. Inflation causes prices to increase. However, the reasons for the increase that have been pervasive throughout the process and throughout the media, and how quick this increase is irresponsible.
Breaking it down, for resident undergraduates, the cost will rise from $210 per credit hour to $231, then $254, and finally $280 by spring of 2021. UOG is also proposing to increase its fees, including the cost of on-campus housing.
Imagine being in the dorm and having to take that increase along with the dorm rates. $5 each day increase. It's just a $5 increase each day. That may sound minuscule in the short run, but we're looking at this by semester. And that's about $500 to $600 per semester. That's not the kind of money we have in our pockets to give.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Saturday marks the last day on the job for U.S. Marshal for Guam and the CNMI, Frank Leon Guerrero. He was appointed to the position 8 years ago by President Barack Obama. During his retirement luncheon today, Leon Guerrero said this marked his third retirement from the government service.
You never know. People have been asking me that kind of like get into the local government, get into politics. We'll see.
Stick around for more news here on Primetime. You're watching KUAM.
Get up-to-the-minute news, plus access to alerts, streaming radio, promotions, and more on your mobile device by downloading the KUAM News mobile app, available at the App Store now.
Matson is in this community. We've been in this community for decades. We're gonna be in this community for decades to come. Things will get busy, things will get quiet, but we're gonna be here. We're your hometown carrier. And that matters to us.
Reliability is the core of our business. We take pride in ensuring that we arrive in Guam on time as scheduled.
It's our local employees who understand the market, who understand the business, and provide that hard work for you each and every day.
When we hold ourselves to high standards, our customers also hold us to high standards. We establish good business relationships that turn into friendships. That's why it's so important to be here and be trusted by your customers. We want you to trust Matson like your friend, like your family.
Half the day, I'm in the club.
Half a day, welcome to Two Lovers Point.
Half a day, I'm in the club.
It's a special delivery to your inbox every week with your KUAM News Roundup, program advisories, and promotions. Sign up for the weekly KUAM Digital Digest today on KUAM.com.
Defendant Randall Fulcher appeared for a pretrial conference with Judge Vern Perez. However, it was continued to October 24th. According to Fulcher's attorney Samuel Tecker, the government has brought forth new discoveries that includes reviewing about 5 new discs. Fulcher is charged with third-degree criminal sexual conduct assault and family violence for digitally penetrating his roommate. His trial was previously scheduled for October 17th. However, Tecker says that will likely be continued to a later date. The Office of the Attorney General has filed an appeal to the Supreme Court of Guam's decision and order on the motion to dismiss defendant Gerald Wayne Cruz's indictment. Cruz is accused of fatally shooting his neighbor Njigo's cat and dog. He was charged with 2 counts of animal cruelty as a third-degree felony. In Judge Michael Bordalio's courtroom, the court scheduled a further proceedings hearing for 30 days from now, in order for the Supreme Court to respond and for Judge Bordalio to see if he has jurisdiction over the case or not. Cruz will return on November 14th. The popular Island Girl Coffee and Quenchers location in Barrigada has been hit by a burglary yet again, but management too believes it may be a repeat offender. The company needs your help to identify him and will pay $500 for information leading to his arrest. Wednesday night, a man attempted to disable the power system at the company's drive-thru. While minor vandalism occurred, he wasn't successful in circumventing the security systems. After reviewing video surveillance footage, Island Girl believes he is the same man who hit the location in a similar incident this past July. To report this crime, call 477-HELP or direct message Island Girl at IG Coffee_Guam. More from the former GURA board member's trial. A motion was filed by defense attorney Samuel Tecker for the dismissal of the fourth charge of violating an open government law as a misdemeanor against his client, David Sablan. The government had no objection and the court granted the dismissal with prejudice. Of the three defendants in trial, Sablan was faced with the most charges. The three former Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority board members are accused for holding closed-door working session meetings that included discussions on granting a multi-million-dollar award. Trial was set to continue today with more witness testimonies. However, Tecker was sick and absent. Therefore, the court scheduled a continuation for Monday morning. Feral pigs are causing big problems in the villages, and one mayor tells KUAM his constituents are really bothered by babui. Chris Barnett has more.
Santa Rita Mayor Dale Alvarez has had it with feral pigs, and he's not alone. Pigs, a problem island-wide, and it's gotten so bad, the feds have gotten involved. Alvarez says USDA is working with mayors to help identify feral pig trouble spots. They damage crops, threaten pets, and even have the potential to spread disease, Alvarez says.
The problem is they're going in, damaging nice manicured yards, and water pipes are even breaking from them and digging the grounds, and it's all kinds of problem. And even, believe it or not, the mom and the piglets are following during the holding up traffic, things like that. It's really bad.
USDA assists mayors with pig mitigation. PD Mayor Jesse Alleg tells us the federal agency uses large traps to catch up to 30 to 40 pigs at a time. Villagers report pig sightings and the time of the sighting to the mayors, and the USDA makes a determination about trapping. Now, Mayor Alvarez, like other mayors, sometimes hands out smaller traps to villagers because they're saying USDA traps are too big for smaller yards. But part of the problem, pigs are not as dumb as they look, apparently.
We've been giving residents traps. Unfortunately, the pigs are too smart. They won't go in. And one time we caught one, but by the time we got down there, it broke the fence. They're too strong.
Mayor's Council Executive Director Angel Sablan says Mongmong, Toltu, Maiti, Ordat, Chalampago, PD, and Santa Rita are pig problem areas, but the South has also been hit hard by the babui blues. While mayors have spent a lot of time talking about stray dog issues, Alvarez says stray dogs take a back seat to feral pigs.
The pigs are the problem, and of course my stray dogs, but the pigs are my worst now because you come to Santa Rita, it's like all my constituents are farmers. They're planting sweet potato because their nice yard is turning into a big mess.
For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Thank you, Chris. There appears to be little dispute that the future of the island-wide power system is in renewable energy. The question is, how soon should we get there? As Nestor LeConte reports, it depends on who you ask.
This roundtable hearing.
Utilities Chairman Clint Rigel held a roundtable meeting to discuss that very question. GPA General Manager John Benavente and renewable energy industry officials were invited to share their views, much of which are well known by now. GPA, for example, believes conventional fossil fuel energy is still, for now, more reliable and cost-effective than renewables.
For 200 megawatt solar PV, at best, they can produce that for only 25% of the year. So even to get equivalent to the new machine, you need 800 megawatts of solar to compare with the 200 megawatt machine.
But Jeff Vocolo of Micronesia Renewable Energy says solar technology and battery storage are advancing at such a fast pace that it will become mainstream much sooner than later.
I foresee in 7 to 10 years, you walking in a Home Depot, and buying, solar panels or buying whatever you want and going home and installing them yourself. I mean, that's how far this industry is going to go and how quickly it is going to go.
But Lynn Scott of Green Energy Solutions takes more of a middle ground. He says energy conservation, not more energy production, is the key. But the government, he says, needs to make it more affordable by providing access to capital.
If there was a way to speed things up, find a way as senators to put a program together that would help fund some of this, or low interest funding or something, so that businesses and homeowners could actually own it instead of just borrow it for 25 years.
And Pacific Solar's Bill Hagan believes renewables are the future, but understands that in GPA's case, they need to rely on what they know now.
I can appreciate GPA's problem. They cannot
they cannot project the future. They have to deal with what's now, what's here right now. It'd be nice to be able to have a crystal ball and say that in 5 years we're going to have all the batteries and solar in place, but we can't. They need to deal with what's right here. And so I sympathize with John trying to figure this out.
For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
If you had plans to travel to Japan or were waiting for someone to arrive on Saturday, take note, all United airline flights have been canceled due to Super Typhoon Hagibis. United is also expecting additional flight cancellations and schedule changes to and from Japan on Sunday. Due to the unpredictability of the Super Typhoon's path, United urges customers to check the latest status of their flights at united.com. Additionally, travel waivers have been issued to customers traveling through the following airports from now until Sunday: Fukuoka, Nagoya, Osaka, Narita, and Haneda. And on Thursday afternoon, the Real Men Wear Pink reveal event was held at the Cars Plus showroom in Mighty. The 10 men will unite to fight breast cancer with the American Cancer Society through participation in the campaign, and will also raise awareness for breast cancer by wearing pink throughout October. The event officially kicks off fundraising efforts which helps ACS save lives from breast cancer through early detection and prevention, cancer research, and patient support. The Real Men Wear Pink campaign is in its third year on Guam, and some of the participants include Ryan Torres, store manager for Macy's, Robert Camacho of Consulting and Marketing Services, General Sales Manager for Cars Plus Guam, Vince Mofness, and Chief Engineer for the Guam Water Works Authority, Tom Cruz. Coming up, Dave Delgado has your dialed rent-to-own Athlete of the Week. Keep it here.
Day hungry drivers. Are you spending more time on the road? Shell has teamed up with Wendy's so you can buy fuel and eat free. Just fuel up 7 gallons at any Shell station and get a coupon for a Wendy's cheeseburger or chicken nuggets. Or use 2 coupons to redeem a Wendy's cheeseburger meal with fries and a drink. Fuel up at Shell today because this deal won't last long. Quality service, fuel, and food from Shell and Wendy's.
Okay. Can I meet Alan, please?
Attention passengers of flight AJ3004, your flight has been delayed.
It's the flavor that makes you go, woo. McDonald's new spicy barbecue glazed tenders and chicken sandwich. Made with tender, juicy, all-white meat chicken.
Available in 4, 6, or 10-piece chicken tenders. Try the spicy barbecue crispy chicken sandwich too.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
We're here at Dow Renton East Agania for our Athlete of the Week. Today we have Fuerza basketball player Babs Kirkendall.
Congratulations, Babs, on being Dow Renton's Athlete of the Week. Who would you like to donate your check to?
Hi, everybody. I would like to donate this check to Island Girl Power.
Congratulations on your team's win in the PBS Guam Women's Basketball League, beating the Tritons in the championship game. How was that championship game for you guys?
It was tough. I think UOG gave us a hard time. They are a very nice group. They play very well together, so for us it was hard. But I believe we played a very good defense, and we made it.
Yeah, let's talk about that team. You've been there this is your first tournament with Fuerza. You guys have a blend of veteran players and then some younger players. But what do you think were some of the other contributing factors to winning that championship?
Everybody is very welcoming, so I felt like I was at home. They welcomed me very immediately. So we we always try to help each other, and everybody has their own suggestion during the game. So we listen to each other's advice and we try to play together.
And you also play basketball for the women's masters team, winning a gold medal in New Zealand.
Yes, that was an amazing tournament. It gave me the opportunity to see New Zealand. It was an awesome experience, and I loved everybody, playing with everybody there.
And you were playing ball in some running shoes, which was pretty amazing because for what you were doing out there on the court.
So yeah, as soon as I walked into the gym, I realized I had forgotten my basketball shoes. So I decided to play with my running shoes, and I actually did great, better than I could have thought. And yeah, they were light, so I was jumping higher.
All right, congratulations. Stay tuned to our next Rantone Athlete of the Week.
KUAM Sports Athlete of the Week is brought to you by...
This year's high school all-island cross-country meet was held at JFK late yesterday afternoon. The race started with the boys hitting the course first. GW runner Terrence Johnson blazed the course and smoked the competition, finishing first with a time of 16:35.70. Teammate Paul Mansfield crossed the line in second with a time of 17:40.30. Southern High's Carlos Leon Guerrero finished in third place with a time of 18:31.40. St. Paul's boys team repeated as champions with 79 points and a time of 138.36 for an average of 19:43.20. In the girls' race, St. John's runner Jordan Baden crossed the line first with a time of 21:15.80. Guam High's Hannah Zura placed second at 21:21.60. JFK runner Trixia Nivra finished third with a time of 21:31.80. JFK took the girls' title with 53 points. Guam High took second with 59 points. Third place went to St. John's with 89 points. Head on down to Jimmy D's Beach tomorrow for some beach rugby. It's tag, not tackle, so it should be a fun day of action. Uproar Guam is hosting the event with the Army Trophy and $400 cash going to the winning team.
We're going to have an Uproar Beach Rugby Touch Tournament at Jimmy D's with 18 teams. A kickoff is going to be around 10:30. Registration starts at 9:45. Captain meeting at 10:15. Action will last all day. Finals are expected to start at 4 p.m. You're going to find a whole assortment of players. I know we have some older gentlemen that have been practicing every day, and as well as a bunch of the national team, both female and male players. So you're going to see a lot of action, a lot of skill, and just basically good rugby.
It is the spirit within us, our soul, our essence that drives us to seek a better way, to create beauty and enrich the senses, to inspire fulfilling lives, to be at one with our earth and protect those who we love. Only by taking on challenges do we change the world for the better.
The Holiday Pledge is definitely like an extension of the Holiday spirit, which is all about family. It doesn't matter where you're from or who you are. I wear this uniform. I'm definitely proud of my job and what we do. I not only live it in the uniform, but outside of the uniform as well. It's definitely a way of life. I live the Holiday Pledge every day of my life.
And before we close out the news tonight, our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Okay, everybody, let's end the show by getting your island weekend started the right way by saying happy birthday to Keith Torres, who celebrates birthday number 37 today. To the most special person in my life, enjoy your special day. Hashtag fish on. This comes from Carol, Evan, Ethan, Mom, and family. Use hashtag in the shout out. That's awesome. Jariah Nadine Blas. Happy 11th birthday, Jariah Nadine. Love your daddy and your familia. Also, happy blessed birthday to Lena Judine Tidegui. Love always from your adoring family. Happy birthday to Gianna and Jin. Your family and friends say we love you both. This comes from moms, dads, and the rest of your entire family. That is the way you end your island week and you start your island weekend. Have a safe and great time, everybody, and happy birthday.
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birthday. It's now that time of the week where we announce the winner of a delicious Cold Stone Creamery cake. This week's winner is Serenity Cookie Mache. Congratulations, a rep will be contacting you on how you can redeem your cake. That's going to do it for all of us here on the news desk, but stay tuned. Jason is next with Extra.
Good day, everybody, and welcome to KU News Extra. I am Jason Salas, and I am pleased as punch to bring you our very first interview because as a very proud Guamanian, the two people that are joining me on the KUM couch today are institutions in our island community. They have celebrated our island's rich history, our culture, our language, our beauty through the gift of art. And we have Ron Castro and Dr. Judy Flores. Buenas to you both. Thank you for joining me.
Buenas.
It's a true honor to have both of you sitting on the couch. I know I've interviewed you each independently over the years and everything, but to have you here is a real treat. So thank you.
Awesome.
Okay,
Yeah.
and certainly for our island community, a real treat is, Judy, we were talking about this before we started the segment, but your latest art show and the fact that most of us that are into Guam history, we can't remember how many art shows you've done because you've done so many over the years.
Yeah, I have. In the beginning, as I mentioned earlier, I was trying to get my name out and I would do solo shows, but those are really hard to do.
Very taxing.
So over most of my career, I would do group shows like the Infinity Show once a year that Ron had at Nissan and Infinity Gallery, and other group shows, women's art exhibit and things like that. So it's been a long time since I've had an art show, and this is more than just an art show, as Ron can explain.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That's a perfect segue.
Oh yes. A month ago I started scanning in all our artwork, and I got up to 327. And they said, okay, we can stop now because I don't think we can fit them all in the exhibit in the museum. And I wish we had another 3,000 square feet, and then I think we'd be able to occupy the space. But we've got approximately 30 original pieces that corporate sponsors have been willing to let us use for the exhibit. The artworks that have been hanging in the hotels and corporate offices and her collectors of art, but we're pretty excited. I know we'll have a minimum of 100 prints, replicas of the artwork, and in reviewing all of this art, it was just like, oh my gosh, how can one person do all this much work? It is just like, you've been busy, girl.
I didn't realize. Yeah.
Well,
it was all fun.
The title, of course, of the don't want to bury the lead here, but visualizing history. The Art of Judy Flores. That is an amazing title.
It is.
So as opposed to like some art shows, and I'd love both of your opinions on this, which maybe are centered around a theme or like a main focal point and everything. Would you consider this, Doctor, to be a career retrospective? Or
it is.
Okay.
Retrospective.
A look on your entire.
Not just art, but how
work.
my art reflects what was going on in the community. And yeah.
Now that's an interesting perspective because from both of you, art. Many people think of like painting it on Guam. It's impossible to take a bad selfie. You go anywhere on Guam, you get the sunset, you get Two Lovers Point, you get in Alahan, where you are from. But Guam's history, you also have to tell the rougher side. The struggle that we've endured as a people. The wartime and everything like that. So art can be beautiful through the darker tones. Correct?
Yeah. But my philosophy is I don't gloss over it. I talk about that more in my writing. and I've done a lot of papers, presentations over the years, and that's part of the show too. But in my art, I like to express beauty, and I like to tell a story of Guam's beauty, and that's what you see.
What do each of you go for when you sit down at, like, say, a fresh piece of paper, a blank canvas, even like the back of a napkin or something, when you feel inspired to create and everything like that, when you want to capture, what Guam is?
One of the funny things when we were having our meetings the past couple of months was Judy mentioned, I have a couple of shutters, EFIT shutters. And one of the things that popped is like, oh, okay, let's have a studio built inside the exhibit. And so what we did was we were using the shutters from Inarajan, but she added another depth to it. Is one of these scenes that you always wanted to do from your old the old Flores home,
yes.
Looking down the street with the church in the background, and it's just like,
oh, like the old school louvers,
right?
Ah,
yes,
that's classic.
So
that's vintage Guam right there.
That's one of the pieces that are going to be in there.
And it's like Guam of the 1950s, and I'm visualizing my husband looking out of his second-story window way up on the hillside, so he would see the whole panorama of Inarajan.
Well, Southern Guam, really appreciates your work because, not only being from the South, but they're like, you have also had a knack for capturing, the rustic South, the very picturesque Southern Guam, with the rolling waves and the mountains and everything like that. So do you still get inspired when because you travel there each and every day, and you came up here, you made the trek to Harmon and everything like that. Do you still see things, going back and forth around the island that, that move you to create?
Yeah, there's always beauty, but I think a lot of it now is memory. And I like to tell a story of what was, and I want people to aspire to go back to some of that. I mean, we've made progress, but we've also lost a lot, especially in our historic homes, and the language and the singing, the cantan chamarita, you don't hear that anymore, those kind of things. And I'm so happy that we have young people who are now aspiring to do just those things.
They want to get back and tell the stories that like our grandparents did.
Right.
It's really neat too, in reviewing all the artwork she's done over the years, is all the little things, that we take for granted, that we see every day. Every time we go to the ranch, we see somebody grinding coconut or husking the coconut and preparing the fiesta plate or whatever. But all of that captured in art. In her visual medium, and that's what I found exciting. Is just, oh, I forgot. Yeah, I wish I'd have done a painting of that too, and something like that.
Well, even though the two of you are contemporaries, and like as artists, you guys go back like a real long time. Has there ever been any sibling rivalry? Let's call it that. It's like, man, I wish I could have painted what Judy just created. Ron really got that
Judy,
moment.
can I borrow that painting, that idea, and I want to do an oil painting?
I really wish I could paint Putita Nebu like you do. Is there any? Let's ask from the both of you. Like, Judy, what qualities about Ron's art do you wish you could have, and then likewise for Ron, what about Judy's art do you appreciate?
Well, I've always appreciated Ron's. He'll go into a project and he just explores everything, like the Master series that he did, and we kind of collaborated on that. And that was part of my job at KUAM in the early days, identifying the traditional artists and the arts. And then he took it and went further, and that's what I really like.
Taking that 3-year sabbatical and just interviewing all the masters, and I think now we maybe have out of the 24, there might be 4 that are still alive.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, Ron, what about Judy's art? Do you wish you could have her skill set?
Just the process of batik, working backwards. That's what. I wouldn't have the patience to do that. I just want to put that color right on there, but I don't want to do wax on, wax off. It's just like I have more fun documenting everything.
That is a God-given ability.
It is.
Well, like I said, both of you are island institutions. We're very happy to have you. And before we go, can you just tell us where and when, so all of the community can make sure to show up and really bring the kids, because it is really a treat.
It'll be up for 5 months. It opens to the public on October 18th at the Guam Museum, and it closes at the end of February. And the museum's open every day except Mondays.
Monday, right.
And Ron is the designer. of the exhibits at the
No,
museum.
Judy and I are the curators, and then Jerry is the designer.
Oh, okay. Well, he's right there. Doing
It's a
the-
celebration
doing
of
things.
the both of you and
Yes.
the entire art community. So thank you very much. This was a real
Oh,
treat for me.
thank you for having us.
All right,
Thank
thank you very
you.
much, and congratulations once more.
Thanks.
All right, please stay tuned. We are back after this.
A beautiful, healthy smile is an